King Oswald, Ænfrith's brother, united Deira and Bernicia into a new kingdom, known as Northumbria, in 634 after a long stretch of raids. King Oswald was originally an Anglo-Saxon pagan. However, after growing up in Dalriata up in Scotland, because of the strife back home, he'd converted to Brythonic Christianity, not to be confused with Celtic Christianity. Brythonic Christianity and Catholic Christianity differed mainly on how they dated Easter. It was called Northumbria because it sat north of the River Humber. Bamborough, the main stronghold of Bernicia, went on to become the most important seat in Northumbria. Northumbria was constantly at war and caught up in skirmishes with Mercia, Strathclyde, the Picts and the Scots. King Oswald accordingly placed a huge wooden crucifix in the ground before a battle against the Welsh, and with the grace of God managed to win back and unify the two kingdoms. He held it tight with both hands and shouted for his army to pray to God Almighty for their just war, for the safety of their nation. Bede stated that folk sliced bits off the wood of this cross over the years, mixing it with water to make it holy. This led to the Battle of Heavenfield in 633. King Oswald won, defeating the Welsh forces led by King Cadwallon of Gwynedd, securing control over Northumbria and reuniting Deira and Bernicia under his rule. Northumbria would split for the final time upon Oswald's death, when at the Battle of Maserfield in 641 he was killed by Penda of Mercia, where his body was chopped into pieces and stuck up on stakes. However, one quick assassination reunited it again permanently under Oswald's brother, Oswiu, in 654. The Venerable Bede described Oswald's tomb, where they hung up over the monument his banner made of gold and purple. It's likely this description led the medieval heralds to give Bernicia arms with 8 stripes, red and gold, one after the other. It's said that in the Middle Ages the same colours were flown by the first Earl of Northumberland, Henry Percy. King Oswald had the gold and purple flag over his tomb, which likely led to the creation of the modern Northumberland flag. The purple most likely changed to red later on, since purple dye cost a fortune back then. Oswiu later sought to revenge his brother Oswald in the Battle of the Winwed in 655 AD against the Mercians. The Mercians had greater numbers but were defeated by King Oswiu and the Bernicians. Penda was also killed in this battle, and Bede marked this as the final defeat and downfall of Anglo-Saxon paganism, and it led to the conquest of Mercia. Oswiu split Mercia into 2. He controlled the northern part, which slowly became part of Northumbria. Penda's son, Payada, pledged allegiance to Oswiu and gave him tribute, and ruled the south of Mercia. However, Payada was killed in Easter, around 5 months into his reign, by his own queen. Oswiu therefore tried to rule all of Mercia directly. However, the Mercian nobles were not too fond of this new Northumbrian king. They drove out Oswiu's governors in a revolt, leading to the installment of King Wulfhere in 658. Although Wulfhere still paid tribute to Oswiu, this was likely just to keep the peace, as Northumbria no longer had any governance over Mercia. Although by this point Christianity was dominant, the many different Anglo-Saxon churches couldn't agree on everything, like key dates and whether to celebrate Easter or not. In Whitby, 664, King Oswiu aimed to settle this debate. All the major religious players met in Whitby to discuss whether the Anglo-Saxons should side with the Celtic Christians or the Catholic Christians. This came to be known as the Synod of Whitby. Oswiu sided with the Catholics. After that, Northumbria became part of the Catholic fold. Catholic education flooded into the area after this. A monk Wearmouth, Jarrow Abbey, opened round that time, famous for educating Bede and where he did his writing. This sparked the Northumbrian Golden Age, known for its rich monasteries and high levels of education, including the writing down of much of what this very video is talking about. Lindisfarne was another notable monastery, which produced many great works, such as the Lindisfarne Gospels and maybe the Book of Durrow that had a strong influence on British Christian artwork, like the later Book of Kells. During the Golden Age, Kings Edwin, Oswald and Oswiu, between the years 616 and 654, were the overlords of Britannia and dominated the other Anglo-Saxon and Celtic kingdoms. York were chosen as the second seat of the Archbishop because of this dominance, though York Minster weren't built just yet. Ecgfrith, feeling strong from his dominance, decided to push north into Pict territory, leading to the Battle of Dun Nectan in 685. Although the Picts won this battle and massacred nearly all the Northumbrians in a swamp, including King Ecgfrith. Mercia took advantage of this and pushed north into Northumbria, while Northumbria would scrabble for leadership over the next couple of generations.